idli batter. Hi, I'm Anupa and I welcome you to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana and a warm welcome to our series of cooking for beginners. Let's make idli. We've already seen how to make dosa. Now idli is another very basic recipe and very simple, something that can be had for breakfast, lunch, dinner, evening snacks or even your kitty parties. Very simple recipe. It is all about measurements. To make idli, once you know the ratio of rice and the dals, you will be able to make idli any given day. And a little bit of planning and the idli will be just perfect. So how do you make idli? For idli, we need ukda chawal. This is the boiled rice variety which is available and we need about 1 cup of that. This needs to be soaked for at least good 5 to 6 hours. So soaked ukda rice, it's about 1 cup. Dhuli hui urad dal, which is skinless black gram. Now black gram is available in 3 varieties. One is the whole grain which is black. The second one is split black gram with the black skin on, and then the third is this which is skinless. The skin is off and you just have the dal which is like this. Now this is about half a cup. This also needs to be soaked for at least 5 hours. So you can do all the soaking at one go. So whether it is ukda chawal or urad dal, all of it needs to be soaked separately in separate bowls. Why? Because it becomes easier for us to grind later. I will also tell you while we do the grinding. But right now we need half a cup of urad dal, 1/4 cup of short grain rice. Now any rice that you have at home, just soak 1/4 cup of short grain rice, whether it is kolam or parimal or any rice that you have at home. Short grain rice, 1/4 cup. 1 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds. These are also soaked in water, and salt as per taste. Now the most important thing is grinding. Now all these 3 ingredients have to be ground separately because ukda chawal takes longer to grind and urad dal takes lesser time to grind. Since urad dal is the softer ingredient and ukda chawal is quite hard, you can't really mix both of them together. What will happen by the end of it is that the ukda chawal will still be slightly rough and the dal would have been ground to fine paste. So in this case we have to maintain the balance. To maintain the balance, all the grinding will have to be done separately. So we'll first grind the ukda chawal or the boiled rice. After soaking, get rid of that water and drain off the rice and just add it to the blender jar. We'll first grind it without adding any water, and after that, as much as it takes, we will add the water. Okay, after dry grinding, let's now add some water. And after you add water, just mix this up well so that each and every grain is ground to a fine paste. Just mix this up well. We have to grind this till it goes absolutely fine. Okay, so this is done. Now what we'll do is, we'll remove this in a bowl. Now in the same blender jar, we'll add the urad dal. And along with the urad dal, I will also add the short grain rice. But I had mentioned to you in the beginning that we should grind it separately. But you see the quantity is very less. And such a small quantity of rice will be very difficult for us to grind in a bigger jar. So along with urad dal, you can grind this rice as well. Or unless you want to use a smaller jar separately just to grind the rice, I am okay with that. But I prefer doing it this way. So that way I save out on my efforts and I find it easier for the short grain rice and the urad dal to be ground together. It's not all that difficult. First, without adding any water, we'll grind this. One more thing that we have not yet added is the methi dana, the fenugreek seeds. Little of that, just a bit. That's it. Okay, now mix this up well like this and we'll add water to this. Don't add too much water because our batter will go really runny and idli batter has to be quite thick. So The water should be added slowly, just enough for the dal to grind. So put the lid back and we'll grind this again. Okay, so this is also done. Now we have to mix the batters together. We already have the boiled rice here, and this is the urad dal and the short grain rice. Now just add it in to this. Okay. After you have done this, just mix both the batters well. Right now we are not going to add salt to this. The batter is ready, but it is not fermented, so we cannot make idlis right now. We have to leave this to ferment in a warm place overnight. So you make this batter in the evening, by next day morning you will be ready to make idlis. So right now we have to leave this in a warm place, maybe in your kitchen, just cover it and leave it on the kitchen platform. If it's quite cold outside, then what you can do is cover this and put it in one of your kitchen cabinets. By next day morning you'll have this lovely fermented batter. I'll show you how it looks. I already have one batch of fermented batter with me. It actually doubles in volume. You see this? Same recipe, but after this is fermented, this is how it looks. And you see this? This is very well fermented. So once the batter ferments, it actually doubles in volume. So by the end of this batter being fermented, we'll have a bowl full of idli batter and you can make lots of idlis for all your family members. So this is a very simple recipe to make idlis, and I'm sure once you make the batter and ferment it, the idlis that you make at home are going to be tasty and your family members are going to be very happy, and by the end you're going to be very, very, very proud of yourself.